Hola y'all, it's Jessie, the most amazing side dish to share with you. I'm gonna be showing you how to make corn ribs. Yes, you heard me correctly, corn ribs. I'd never heard of them either. I saw them the other day and knew that I just had to make these. And specifically, I'm gonna show you how to put this extra delicious sauce on them after they come off the grill, or in my case today, out of the air fryer. It's a Mexican street corn style corn ribs. Perfect for the upcoming holiday. Okay, so the first thing I'm gonna do is I took fresh corn. They look a little raggedy, just excuse it because they've been sitting out in the fridge for a moment. But you can pretty much gauge how much corn you're gonna need for this by saying an ear of corn for every person. That should do you, because whenever you're having a cookout or you're making dinner for anybody, or whatever, that's about how much corn everyone's gonna eat. You usually have other side dishes to go along with that. So I would say 1 ear of corn per person is sufficient. What I'm doing is I'm peeling back the husk. I'm just gonna take that off and make sure that we have all these little hairs taken off. This side dish is so delicious and it's incredibly versatile. You can add anything at the end that you would like, so you don't have to do this Mexican street corn style, but that's what I'm gonna be showing you today because it is so delicious. But if you have other flavorings or toppings that you would rather put on your corn, you're definitely able to do that. But we are also seasoning this corn before it goes on our grill or in our air fryer. So some people don't want to put anything on it after it comes out. You may want to sprinkle salt, because I am adding salt in my sauce at the end. I'm not going to salt my corn before I bake it or air fry it or grill it. But if you don't plan on putting anything on it afterwards, you may want to add a little bit of salt. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to put garlic and butter on my corn. I'm gonna brush my corn with garlic and butter before I cook it. And then when it comes out, I'm gonna put this sauce on it, you guys, and it is going to be delicious. Wonderful, delicious. I have to be honest with you, I don't like corn that much, but it's not because corn has a bad flavor. I grew up eating corn. It's because I find corn very boring. I don't think it's very interesting. I'm not a huge fan of cream style corn or anything like that. And honestly, I do try to watch what I eat, and it doesn't have a lot of nutritional value for me. So I'm not a huge fan of corn, but I wanted to try to ignite that passion back in my life, and this recipe is the one that did it. So I have 2 ears of corn. I'm gonna clean this up and I'm gonna come right back. First thing I'm gonna do is I'm going to take off this end just so I have a nice flat base to do my other cutting. And it is a little hard to do. I'm gonna do the same thing with my second ear of corn. Okay. Now I'm gonna take my corn and I'm gonna stand it up on my cutting board, and I'm gonna cut it straight down the middle and make sure that I stay in the middle of this corn. All right, so what you have now is you have 2 halves of corn, and now we're gonna essentially quarter this entire ear of corn. So I'm gonna cut these 2 halves in half again, and again, I have to make sure I stay in the center, in this white part right here, because if I start cutting and I go into that yellow part, the kernels of corn are gonna fall off. So I'm gonna lay it flat, and I'm just gonna make sure to stay in half on that white part. Sometimes even when you stay in the middle, some pop off. We're still gonna eat these, but what you want essentially is the whole half to stay like this. So I hope I have a little bit better luck with the second ear of corn so I can show you what a good one looks like. But these are still totally edible. We're not throwing them away. Let's try again with the second half. Make sure you use some strength. Also, a really sharp knife would help. Yay, much better. So that second half, it worked perfectly. Now that we have all of our corn cut into our ribs, I'm going to take 3 tablespoons of butter, and I don't want it to be melted, I just want it to be soft. And so I'm gonna place it into a measuring cup and into the microwave just long enough to get it soft and squishy where I can actually spread it onto my corn with my fingers. Point, I'm also gonna start my air fryer at 400 degrees and let it be getting hot. All right, to my butter, I'm gonna add 2 teaspoons of garlic powder. And I actually did let my butter go too long in the microwave, so it's melted. So I'm gonna stir this with a brush and we're gonna brush it on the corn. No problem, not using our fingers, but we can use a tool in the kitchen. This is also the point that you may want to add salt and pepper to your corn if you're not planning on putting the sauce on at the end. But if not, you can just leave it with butter and garlic powder. I would like to add that I used salted butter, so there is a little salt in here. So we're just going to take the corn and I'm just going to brush on this garlic butter mixture, just like that. Prefer that the butter's not melted because you can really let it get slathered on there if it's more in a softened, solid state. But the flavor is still the same. Even our little guys. Now we got our air fryer and it's really hot and we're just gonna lay them in a single layer. I'm gonna take the extra butter and just put it right on top. While the corn is working in the air fryer, I'm going to make our sauce. We're gonna take 1/4 of a cup of mayonnaise. I'm just gonna put this into a little mixing bowl. Now because I'm wanting to make Mexican street corn ribs, I want a little bit of spice. So I'm gonna use sriracha to achieve that. I'm gonna put in about 1 tablespoon right into the mayo. Then the last ingredient is juice of 1/2 lime. I'm gonna give this a good mix. Oh, I almost forgot. I do like to add a good amount of black pepper. And I mean a good amount. Mix that in. I'm gonna give it a little taste. That's it, that's perfect. Okay, our corn ribs are ready. Let me show you guys what they look like. Look at these ribs. They're beautiful. As they cook, they kind of curl up. Look how toasty and delicious they get. You're gonna love this. Everybody is going to love this. Your grill out or your barbecue, this is going to be the star of the show. While they're still hot, I'm just gonna take the sauce and I'm just going to put it on the corn just like this. You can use a brush for this if you want. You really don't have to be fancy with it. Just like that. And my favorite finishing touch and flavor is a sprinkle of Tajin. This has lime in it. It has some chili powder, some salt. You guys, look at that corn rib. Amazing. And you know I'm gonna taste it for you. Here we go. It's salty. The corn has this nice nuttiness and a crisp to it. But once you bite into it, it's sweet because it's fresh corn and it's tender and juicy. The sauce is creamy. It's got a nice little kick. I taste the lime. The sriracha's got a nice little kick. That nice little added Tajin, it's salt. You have to make it. You absolutely have to. This is gonna be the star of your next gathering or your weeknight meal, whatever you wanna do. It's so easy and fast. You could have this every night of the week if you wanted. Stay tuned for more great recipes. Hope y'all have a good one and try this. Adios.